Business PM is proudly brought to you, kind courtesy, the Center for Sustainable Transformation. This is the SDG-Hub. We discuss and enlighten each other on the challenges and opportunities in everyday life and business to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, as we call them for short. On the SDG-Hub tonight, we will introduce you to business cases and activities that in one way or the other are taking steps towards a more sustainable future here in Ghana and beyond, so that we are all up to date and can take part in the necessary sustainable transformation we have to make for people and the planet to thrive, both in the present and the future. I'm your host, Emmanuel, Aboagye-Wiafe, and I'm here with
Rosemary Balami.
Rosemary is from the Young Reporters for the Environment at the Center for Sustainable Transformation. Now, the world's oceans are vast, mysterious, and teeming with life, showcasing the incredible diversity of aquatic creatures that inhabit their depths. From the smallest plankton to the largest whales, each aquatic animal plays a unique and indispensable role in maintaining the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. Tonight's topic is linked to SDG 14, Life Below Water, and we'll be taking a look at the world of Ghana's sea turtles and explore the threats they face, the current realities, and the promising prospects for their conservation. In particular, we'll be discussing how we all can be part of promoting some of the targets 4.1 by 2025, prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, in particular from land-based activities, including marine debris and nutrient pollution. 14.2 by 2020, sustainably manage and protect marine and coastal ecosystems to avoid significant adverse impacts, including by strengthening their resilience and take action for their restoration in order to achieve healthy and productive oceans. 14.5 by 2020, conserve at least 10% of coastal and marine areas consistent with national and international law and based on the best available scientific information and more.
Absolutely, Emmanuel. The indispensable nature of every aquatic animal in the ocean cannot be overstated. These creatures are not only magnificent in their own right, but also integral to the functioning of marine ecosystems and the well-being of our planet. Let's take a look at some worrying statistics with regards to sea turtles. According to Sea Turtle Conservation, global estimates of annual capture, injury and mortality are staggering, with 150,000 turtles of all species killed in shrimp trawls. More than 200,000 loggerheads and 50,000 leatherbacks are captured, injured or killed by long lines, and large numbers of all species drowned in gill nets. In Ghana, sea turtles are a precious and vital component of the country's coastal ecosystem. With a diverse range of species nesting along our shores, Ghana plays a crucial role in global sea turtle conservation. However, these creatures face various threats and are classified worldwide as endangered species. In response, however, dedicated conservation programs, community involvement, and educational initiatives have emerged to protect and preserve sea turtles in Ghana. Fortunately, we get to hear more of that on tonight's episode.
Of course, Rosemary. And this evening, we'll get to delve deeper into the fascinating but challenging world of these ancient mariners and discuss ongoing efforts to ensure their survival along Ghana's coastal havens. We are glad to be joined in the studios by experts in the field of marine conservation, specifically sea turtle conservation, who are also the conveners of the just-ended Sea Turtle Conference, which was held in Accra. They will help us navigate the current status of sea turtles, the threats they face, and the way forward in how these species can be protected. So we have with us in the studio tonight Dr Andrews Agyekumhene, lecturer at the Department of Marine and Fisheries Sciences, University of Ghana. Doc, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good to have you here.
Good to have you.
We also have Betty Delali Dordzi, Project Manager at the Wildlife and Human Resource Organizations in Ghana. Doc, pardon, Betty, good evening. All right, I hope you're all doing fine.
By the grace of God, I'm well.
Great. All right, so let's start the discussion, and I want to welcome you once again. Like we do it always, we want you to tell us briefly what you do by the day, every day. What's your schedule like? First, I'll start with you, Doc.
Thank you, and a very good evening to your cherished listeners. A typical day for me as a lecturer involves teaching. Okay. Sometimes I have a class of over 250 students, and I have to teach
Okay.
Different causes like climate change, turtles, marine conservation, and also the current topic that my department is trying to champion is the blue economy.
Okay.
I also teach that. And I also do a lot of research. I have research sites along the entire coast of Ghana and sometimes also inland areas. And aside that, I do community activities a lot because I believe that if the research doesn't translate into changing the lives of the
people,
ordinary Ghanaians, then we are not doing anything.
You should have been in Kenya for the African Climate Summit.
I should have been.
Right. Betty, can you tell us what do you also do?
So being the programs manager for wildlife and human resources, I'm focused on inspiring people for a healthy environment. And this can be achieved through education, awareness, and mostly I'm on the field educating people about these creatures and other things to also help promote the environment as well.
Wow.
And also researching, and now because you are in the social media kind of era now, I'm always researching to post some things on our social media platforms to also educate everyone.
Fantastic. Right, so let's kick start the discussion now, and I'm coming to you back, Dr. Agyekumhene. Could you tell us, or could you tell our listeners, an overview of the importance of sea turtles and the ecological significance of these mammals in Ghana's coastal ecosystem?
Okay, thank you. And I would like to start with two simple sentences. One of it is that healthy turtles, healthy oceans. And the second one is healthy turtles, more fish, more money. And now I will explain.
Okay, yes.
Sea turtles are known to be cleaners of the ocean. And first of all, there's a particular species that the primary food is the seagrass, which is like weed in the ocean.
Okay.
And what they do is that they eat these seagrass, and so it doesn't get a chance to take over the ocean. And that is they weeding sort of the ocean. If these seagrasses are allowed to overgrow, as they decompose, they take oxygen from the ocean, and that can affect other organisms.
Okay.
If you take that away and move to another benefit, they help to promote fish stock. So in 2009, when the fisheries in one part of the world collapsed, China specifically, they had one of the experts proposed that let's introduce sea turtles to bring back the fish stock. How do they do that? There are some organisms in the ocean called jellyfish. These jellyfish feeds on baby fish or the smaller fishes that we want to grow. And the sea turtles feed on the jellyfish. So the sea turtles are not there. The jellyfish explode in population. They eat more fish, and our fishery stocks can collapse. So in a fight for promoting fisheries in Ghana, I think sea turtle conservation is one way that the Ministry of Fisheries should look at.
So how different are they from tortoises? I mean, turtles and tortoises.
Yes. They belong to the same family, but they sub-family-wise, they differ by virtue of where they live. But the easier way to identify them is that the land tortoise has fingernails. The sea turtles will not have fingernails. The land tortoise is a bit roundish, but the sea turtle is more flatter so that they can move easily through the ocean. And I believe that our fishermen studied the sea turtle to develop their paddles, because the arm of the sea turtle looks like that of a paddle that the fishermen use. So just as the Wright brothers looked at the bird to develop the aeroplane, our fishermen also looked at the hands or the flippers of the turtles to develop their paddles. So they are teaching us some aspects of our lives. Yes.
So how many types do we have in the world, and how many are found in Ghana?
The world, we have 7 types, but Ghana is blessed. 5 of them are in our waters. Yes. And out of the 5, 3 nest predominantly on our coast. Some countries don't even have one at all. So in Ghana, we are really blessed, and that is why we should protect them.
Can you tell us the names of these 7 different types?
We have the loggerhead, that is called caretta caretta. We have the leatherback, that is Demochelis coriaceae. We have the olive ridley, Lepidochelys olivacea, and then we have the hawksbill, as well as the green turtle. Then we have one that is endemic to Australia called the Australian flatback. And then we have, I think, yes, so these are the 7 species. I think I've mentioned 7.
Yes.
And the 5 in Ghana, if you take the flatback out, the rest you can find them in Ghana, the Australian flatback.
So it's basically in the oceans, in the Gulf of Guinea, so to speak. All right. Now, Betty, can you elaborate on the unique nesting size of sea turtles in Ghana? I believe you are not too disclosed where they are, though.
So we have the male and the female sea turtles, but normally it's the female that comes to our beaches to lay their eggs. So if you see a sea turtle along our beaches, it's normally the females. So they come to our shores, they go through the 6 processes, and after laying their eggs into the hole, they cover it and go back. Then within like a month or 2, the eggs will hatch, and the hatchlings too will come out.
And they also find their way back into
the ocean. And when it's time for them to also lay their eggs, they will come around the same place.
How is that even possible?
That's nature for you.
It's really wonderful.
Because I know it's like they are migratory mammals, right? Yes. So if they are able to go back and then come when they grow to the same place, that is very, very interesting. So, Betty, back to you again. Sea turtles face series of threats, and some species are considered to be endangered. So in the Ghanaian context, what are the endangered species here, and what are the primary threats that sea turtles face in Ghana? Human-induced threats.
I think all the sea turtles are endangered here in Ghana, and most of their threats is poaching. A lot of fishermen and fisher folks or some communities, they feed on the sea turtles.
They feed on it?
They feed their meat and their eggs.
Wow.
Like, it's amazing how...
This is my first time hearing this.
You should see some videos. It's really disheartening when you see them killing the sea turtles. Some of them will actually wait for a sea turtle to lay the eggs. Then they will take the sea turtle and also fetch all the eggs. Yes. Wow. And a sea turtle can lay close to 200. There's been an instance where a sea turtle laid 199 eggs. So imagine
and they all hatch.
Yes. Imagine, but definitely some would die, but then it wouldn't be a lot. But imagine if a sea turtle is laying close to 200 eggs, and these eggs are able to hatch, and the rest find their way back into the ocean. They'll definitely also come back and lay the eggs. But if we collect all these eggs and also the sea turtles, then the sea turtles' number will just reduce in our ocean.
So what are the consequences of some of these challenges on sea turtle nesting and hatching survival? Okay, let me come to the doc.
The consequence is that if you are taking the species away, then you are taking their ecological roles away. So it's going to affect our fish stock. It's going to affect the health of the ocean. One thing that I should mention is that a lot of people travel to Ghana just to see the sea turtles. It is
because it's like a tourism sort of thing.
Exactly, because it's a charismatic species and not the animal that speaks tongues. But a lot of people come to Ghana just to see that. So if you are taking them away, the implication is that you are taking away all these benefits. So I always say that one turtle alive is worth more than one turtle that you feed on in a week, because it lives for about 150 years, and every year to be providing these ecological services for you.
Such a long lifespan, 150 years. So, Doc, aside these human-induced factors, let's also take a look at some environmental factors. So, what is the interconnectedness of threats such as pollution, coastal development, and climate change imposing serious risks to sea turtles in Ghana?
Okay. So, unlike humans, where we have the X and Y chromosomes to determine our sex, the sex of sea turtles is what we call temperature dependent. It is determined by the temperature of the beach. If we have a lot of heat that is above about 30 degrees C, we are producing more females, only females. And below that, you are producing only males. The research that we have carried out in Ghana shows that our beaches are producing only female turtles, and that is going to affect their reproductive cycle. And with climate change increasing the heat, we expect more females to be produced. And this was a research that we have done at the Department of Marine and Fisheries Sciences.
Wow.
With the pollution, anytime the environment of any organism is polluted with dirt, two things happen. Either they move away or they die. So we are losing the animals gradually through diseases. Now there's a tumor that affects them called a fibropapilloma tumor, which we believe is as a result of polluted environment. So, yeah.
So to add to what Doc said, and mostly when there are plastics in the ocean, like the polythene bags, especially the white ones, when they are in the ocean and they are filled with water, it looks like a jellyfish. And the sea turtles can't really distinguish between the jellyfish and a bag filled with water. So they also feed on these plastics and they actually harm them and they die.
Unknowingly.
Yes.
Unknowingly. Very unfortunate.
And they can't bring it out when they discover it is plastic?
No.
It's already in their system.
Now, there's a term called bycatch. Could you shed some light on this in fishing operations, and how do sea turtles get unintentionally caught in fishing gear, and what measures are being taken to prevent this? Betty?
So, bycatch is, to my understanding, when the fishermen go to sea and they cast their nets, sometimes the sea turtles find their way into their nets. And for example, if I have an expensive net and I take it to sea and the sea turtle enters the net, it will actually struggle and most of the fishes caught in the net will escape. So if you escape from my net and I see you, the sea turtle, in the net, what do you think I should do?
What's the size like? Is it huge?
It depends on the species, but the largest one is the leatherback. Yes. So it's actually a thing that is worrying the sea turtle because they don't actually see the nets and they will just move into the nets. But then there are some people who have come up with this LED lights. That is actually when you attach it to the net, the sea turtles will see that there's a net there, but the fishes can't see it, so they will move into the net. I think Doc will throw more light on that.
Yes. So, Doc, what's the impact of accidental capture on sea turtle populations?
So, in Ghana, the research we've done shows that every single artisanal canoe catches on the average 4 turtles per annum.
Wow.
And as Betty said, each turtle, if you look at the statistics, you think that 4 is nothing. But we have over 15,000 of these canoes in our waters. And if each turtle is laying close to 200 eggs, in the year they lay multiple of that 200, 4 times. So we are talking about 800 eggs per female. So if you are catching 4 per boat, multiply that by 15 and you see how much eggs you are destroying. And that is what is causing the population to decline at a very fast rate. So that is the implication of these bycatch on the turtle.
Doc, let's look at the law aspect. Ghana has laws and regulations in place to protect sea turtles. The Wildlife Conservation Regulations of 1971 and the Fisheries Act of 2002 contain provisions related to the protection of sea turtles and their habitats. So clearly, sea turtles are protected under Ghana's law. How effective are these legal protections in practice?
Yes, they are the laws, and even the recently passed Wildlife Resource Management Bill 2014, I think Section 19, if you go down there, it talks about protection of turtles. That even says that a person that captures any sea turtle will be fined I think 250 penalty units, and now one penalty unit is 12 cedis, so you multiply that, or you go to jail for 1 year or up to 2 years. But one thing with laws in Ghana is that the implementation is an issue. Sometimes we have several factors that are militating against effective implementation of our laws. One of it is logistics. Sometimes the officer is not even aware of the very laws that they are using to work. Again, because their capacities are not built. Again, they are not well resourced. There's a poacher on the beach. The poacher has machete or sometimes guns. The officer needs to move a vehicle. The vehicle has no fuel in them. How does he get to the beach? So logistics and lack of technical know-how and knowledge is also affecting the laws as we have it. And then the last one, which was clearly mentioned by the law enforcers themselves at the recently ended conference, is the power from above.
Okay, which
you arrest someone and you get a call from a powerful man telling you to release the person within the next day.
Wow.
These are the challenges. They mentioned it clearly at the conference. So I think that if we can create effective, strong institutions that will build capacities, resource the officers very well, then our laws will be. But as it stands now, I think there's ineffective implementation of our laws, and these are the reasons.
Okay. So being the conveners of the just ended CeST conference, what were the objectives as well as issues raised at the conference, and what actions or policy recommendations did the conference advocate for in order to protect sea turtles and their habitats in Ghana? Doc.
So there were a few objectives. We realized that a few institutions, NGOs, were working with sea turtles, well-meaning NGOs, but they were working in silos. Some of them were using methods that were not scientifically proven and were harmful to the species. Some of them were also collecting data that does not feed into any national policy or international policy. And so we thought it wise that we should bring everybody around the table. Let us initiate a dialogue that will first of all see to it that we know what we are doing. 2, we come up with a common voice and protocol for collecting data. And then 3, we ensure that we have networking where I can call my brother and say that this is the situation at my site, what is happening in your area, and then we can share information and knowledge. And also we wanted to highlight the fact that it is illegal to work with sea turtles without getting a permit from the Ghana Wildlife Division. These were some of the objectives that we worked with. Yes.
So how about also making eating of sea turtle illegal?
Oh, it is illegal, all right. And we highlighted it. So at the conference, we had a breakout session. And one of the thematic areas was how to effectively engage with the local communities, as well as how to effectively implement the laws that we have. And I want to say here that for the first time in Ghana, we have a National Sea Turtle Day.
Wow.
Which is the last Friday of every August.
Last Friday of every August.
So from the Monday, we'll be raising awareness, which will culminate into the Friday where we make it big. And every platform, every project will create a big awareness about sea turtles.
This is good. So let me come back to you, Betty. Clearly, sea turtle protection is still unpopular in Ghanaian society. What role can education and outreach play? Because you made mention you're already in that field in changing public attitudes and behaviors towards sea turtle conservation.
Okay, so I believe that if we mostly focus on the youth especially, it will actually be of a great deal. Because, and also with the social media platforms, like it's also easy to get our information out there. And you know the saying that goes, catch them young and it shall be yours forever. I actually believe in that sentence a lot, that statement a lot, because when you give it to them and they understand, they can also give it off to the elders as well. Because most of the elders will be like,
resistant to change.
So it's kind of difficult to change their minds since they started like a very long. If they get to know the importance they get from the sea turtles, I'm sure like they will eventually. It's going to be difficult though, but then we will get there.
Very interesting conversation, but the time flies fast. Now finally, Doc and Betty, my question is, how can the average citizen, regardless of their location, contribute to sea turtle conservation efforts in Ghana, and what are the most critical factors that will determine the prospects for sea turtle survival in Ghana? Doc, please.
Thank you. I think that everyone has a role to play. First of all, if you see someone doing something illegal with sea turtles, there are avenues. You can go to the Wildlife Division or any police office and then report.
But are they harmful?
They are not. They are very friendly and gentle. They can go about their business. They won't harm you. So report illegalities. We said that plastic is a big problem. Cleaning the beach is important, but keeping it clean is the most important. Let's ensure that we keep our beaches clean. And I'm an advocate for banning single-use plastic. So I'll say that let's manage our plastic very well.
Betty, finally.
exactly what you said, like disposing our refuse, it's really a huge problem. Some of the fisher folks or those close to the sea, they'll be like, in Raneba, say, it was say, some people will say, oh, they feed on those things and that kind of thing. But if you're able to educate them well on how to dump their refuses, I think it will really help.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Agyekumhene and Betty, for joining us and sharing your expertise and insights on this conversation. It has been an eye-opening discussion. That's all the time we have for today's discussion on Ghana's sea turtles, threats, realities, and prospects. Make sure to tune in same time next week as we continue discussions on all things sustainable development right here on Asaase Radio 99.5 so that people and the planet can prosper. If you have a topic you would like us to discuss, shoot an email to SDG-Hub@CeST.org. Remember, dear listeners, the future is in our hands and it's our responsibility to ensure a healthier planet for generations to come. Keep raising your voices, keep advocating for change, and keep tuning in to the SDG Hub for more insightful conversations. Until next time, stay informed and stay inspired.
And of course, thank you so much for staying with us on the SDG Hub. Our guests tonight, Dr. Andrews Agyekumhene, lecturer, Department of Marine and Fisheries Sciences, University of Ghana, and Betty Delali Dordzi, project manager at the Wildlife and Human Resources Organization, Ghana. Next week is a Global Week for Sustainable Development Goals. We'll present an update on how far Ghana and the world have come in implementing them. We'll also inspire ourselves and all of you with some good vibes, live music by the artist Teresa Elise, who will share some of her brand new songs to motivate us to continue working hard for the goals. I've been your host, Emmanuel Aboagye-Wiafe, together with